Welcome to the Code with Jason meetup. SaturnCI as usual today. Let me share my screen. Yes. Okay. So we're at kind of an exciting point with SaturnCI. We now have the test running platform kind of in place and working and everything. Sanjit, I know you weren't here for the US meetup earlier this week, and in Gearoid, of course, you neither. So I'll catch you guys up a little bit. I think what I added, I don't even remember, but what we didn't have recently, what we do, and we do have now, is that as the test output comes through, the system will automatically keep you scrolled to the bottom. And we did not have that functionality last time you and I did a session, right, Sanjit?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Okay. So we'll be able to observe that shortly. Usually at about 1 minute and 15 seconds is when these system logs start coming through. So we'll be able to see it in just a second. But the fact that that stuff is working now means that there aren't any additional major features that are needed for the platform as far as I can think right now. And so the question is, what stands between where the platform is now, and here comes the output. What stands between where the platform is now and when people can start to use it, customers can start to use it? And the main thing that I can think of is I don't have a way to bill people, because it's not just as simple as a flat monthly subscription. It has to be metered because the customers' payments have to cover their usage, because that costs me something. So we have to implement that. Um, and that's what I thought we would work on today. Okay. So I will get us started on that. Um, First of all, what I'm thinking is just like a separate page somewhere that gives you a list of all the jobs you've run and their durations so that you can see how much billing you've incurred. So let's do something like that. Um, I'm thinking, where do I put it? Um, the simplest thing I can think of is just a controller called billing controller or something like that. And we just have an index action. I might do that. I don't know if that's ultimately what I'm gonna want to go with, but I can at least start that. And if I decide that I don't like it, I can change it later. So that's what I'll do. Okay, I'm gonna create a new branch called billing. Then I'm gonna say Rails generate controller billing, and we'll give it an index action. And I want to kind of keep an eye on this test run. Yeah, because I find it kind of satisfying to watch this test output come through. And we'll see it finish shortly. And then the status will change from a gray running to a green passed. Yeah, there we go. So I just find that very satisfying to watch. Okay, so we have our billing controller. Um, so I'm going to go localhost 3000 billing. Okay. Let's see what our route is. Okay. So this is a little bit messy to have this like right here. So I'm going to move it somewhere else. I think I'll put it maybe like down here. And I use double quotes, not single. Okay. For some reason, this route is not working. Um, Do I have to explicitly say billing/index? Well, that's kind of weird. I don't want to do that. I'm going to do this. Resources, billing, only index. Let's see, there we go. Okay, that's better. Okay, now let's open up that page. I'm just going to delete that. Okay. So we need to get some jobs. We need to get everything for the current user. And I actually don't even know how to get all the jobs for the current user. When I'm on projects page, how do we know? Oh, current user.projects. Okay. Okay. I'm going to do this. Projects equals current user dot projects. And then I'll say projects that each do project. And for starters, I'll just, oops. I'll just do that. Okay. So I have 2 projects in my account. Um, all right. And I'll do like an H2 or something. Okay. Now for each project, we'll get the builds, but we actually want jobs. Whoops, project dot I'll do this. Project dot jobs that each do job. Job dot duration. I believe that is not going to work. Yeah, because there's no such method as project.jobs. So I'm going to say has many jobs through builds. Let's see if that works. Okay, if this is going to work, it's going to be very slow. Okay, there's a lot of jobs there. Sorry, I'm getting a little warm. So I think I want to put these in a table, and I want to like put a date label on them. So let me do that. Yeah, table. And we want to have a TR for each row here. Then we can have duration. Okay. And I'll probably truncate this list somehow so we don't have to wait so long, or optimize the query or something, do some caching. Anyway, here we have all these durations in a table. Let's put a date time field on here. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. That's exactly what I was wanting. Obviously, they're kind of out of order here. So let's put these in order. Um, And let's do this. Let's see. Hmm. Well, I was going to move this to the controller, but I'm not sure the best way to do that. So I'm just going to do it here, at least for the time being. I'll do order started at descending. Okay. For, oh, I need jobs that started at. Huh, claims that that does not exist. Okay. Oh, created at is what I want. Yeah. Now let's change this for consistency. And then surely I'm going to scope this to some certain time period. Okay. So this goes all the way back to January. I only want it for 1 month at a time. And then we'll have to be able to like navigate among months, of course. So let's commit what we have and then let's add month selection. Okay. Review my changes. No surprises. Um, Add billing page. Okay. Now, how do we want to do the time navigation? I'm thinking about the simplest thing that could possibly work. And I'm open to suggestions.
So you would want to have another column to say charge or something like that as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. But the more pressing thing to me is
Uh-huh.
scoping the list to the current month or whatever month I've selected so that when we refresh this page like we're doing so often, we don't have to wait so long because that's just kind of annoying. Slows down the development cycle. Well, here's one option. We can just scope it to the most recent month for starters.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I'm too lazy to think of how to do it, so scope it to the most to the current month.
Would adding an includes on the projects be work well too? Just for like includes jobs, so it's not querying them afterwards.
Oh yeah, that might be a good idea. We'll try that. All right, so this query is getting too big to want to have in the view. So I want to address that, but let's see how this does. Okay, that loaded a lot faster, and it is in fact limited to just July. Okay, so let's move this to somewhere else. Um, and it's a little bit complicated by the fact that it's inside this loop of projects. But I'm kind of thinking that I actually don't want to do that because we have this project selector here, and maybe we just want to look at the billing for one project at a time. So I'm going to scope this to one project at a time. So when we are like in the jobs controller, how does it scope it to the current project? Oh, so it goes off of the current build. But like when I select one of these, it changes to a different project. How does it do that? Okay. Looks like it just goes to the like default path for that project. So we can't use that. Oh, you know what I think we want to do? I think we want to, yeah, here's what we want to do. Projects, billing. I think that's what we want. Okay. So now we can do like that. Okay. But then it's not actually using that value, so let's change that. Okay. So we can say project equals project dot find params project ID. And then here, instead of doing that, we can do this. Okay. And now we see just the one project. And then here, we can do this. We could do a little formatting here. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna make that an instance variable. Okay, that still works. All right. So obviously this is a bit tidier. And this is fine. I could put this in a model, but I don't want to. I could put this in the project or the jobs model, but then I'd be polluting the model with a query that is only relevant to billing, but then like the model, like if I put it in the jobs model, it would make that model lose cohesion. The contents would be more miscellaneous than they are now. And so I don't want to do that to the job model. So I'm going to keep this here. Okay. Yeah. Scope billing to a project. I'm going to check on my builds here. Oh, yeah, that one passed. Okay. Okay. So the duration is a bit too fine. You know, we probably don't need 6 digits of precision here. So let's change that. I apparently don't have a test for job duration. That doesn't seem right. Okay, it's in build spec. I don't know if that's where it should be or not. Let's take a look. Hmm. Yeah, looks like there's no test for job duration. That's interesting. Let's look at the job model. It's ended at minus started at. Well, that's pretty simple. I can see why there's no test for it. But let's add a test for the precision of it. Describe duration. See, and this is the duration in seconds. So we really just need a whole number. Like we don't need tenths of a second or something like that, I don't think. So it gets rounded to the nearest whole number. Okay. Let's see. Let's do allow job to receive ended at and started at. Okay. Ended at and return I guess this needs to be a timestamp. Not sure what to put in there. Maybe something like this. Okay, and then started at can be just a little bit before. I don't know how to do this, so let me ask ChatGPT. Make it so started at is 60.6 blah blah blah. Yeah. Seconds before ended at. Okay. Oops. Okay, let's run that and see what happens. Okay, perfect. That's exactly what I was after. So now we just need to round it. I think it's like there's ceiling and floor, but then there's round. I don't even remember. Okay. Yeah, dot round. So, by the way, I'm experimenting with just how lazy I can be with my prompts. Notice how all I did was paste this and put the word how, and that's enough. A lot of people expend too much effort when they're interacting with ChatGPT. Okay. I'm gonna run the whole file too, just for the heck of it. Okay. Okay. That's great. Oh, and ChatGPT loves to put white space into its responses, so I'm gonna address that. Okay. Make it so duration gets rounded to nearest second. Okay. Okay. And I'm gonna do this too, just so it's clear that what you're looking at is the number of seconds. And let's see if we can right align that too. There we go. It's a little bit small, but that's okay. Okay. Formatting improvements. Okay, now we can add the actual charge. Okay, now we can say charge. Here's one way to do it. There. I mean, that is a bit pricey, but a man's got to make a living. Um, let's see. I don't know how to decide how much it should be. Um, let's see. Okay, let's do this. I know that I'm gonna want like a grand total at the end there. So let's add the grand total. Okay. And then here we can just do jobs.map duration. No. Sum. And just put a dollar sign on it. Let's see how much we owe ourselves. Oh. What did I do wrong? Maybe that's what I wanted. Okay. There's not a number there because I didn't output it. Okay, and why isn't it class number? Oh, because I didn't put that on there. Okay, so our bill for July is $31,000. That does seem overpriced. What if it's 1/1000th that much? Okay, so let's do this. Let's add a charge method to job. Duration divided by 1,000. And then here, do charge. And there will do charge. 0. Okay. Well, that's too far in the other direction. I think what we need to do is this. Still just says 0. Interesting. Um, okay. Why? Okay, so 191.2i divided by 1,000. What? Okay, interesting. I guess the denominator needs to be afloat in order for that to work. All right. I didn't know that that's how that works, but okay. Okay. Now that's great. And now our total is $31.35. That seems reasonable. But you know what? I don't think that's gonna fly because my DigitalOcean bill says it's gonna be like 47 bucks. So maybe it needs to be just a little more. Let's try 800. Okay. Let's try 600. Whoa. Okay, that gives us some unwieldy numbers. And plus that's too much anyway. Let's just keep it at let's keep it at 1,000 for simplicity. It can always be changed later. Okay. So now we have a monthly charge. That's great. But I don't want to put this charge method here. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's commit this first. Add monthly total. Okay, you know how I talked about job and losing cohesion and all that? Um, I don't want to put this charge method here because like all this other stuff is relative to like the platform. And then there's this one method that has to do with billing. It's not related to any of the other stuff. Makes the job model lose cohesion. So let's address that somehow. I think maybe I want to use a decorator so I can just decorate that job. Whoops. In this controller. Okay. I want to put the charge method in a decorator. I don't want to use a gem. In the past, I've used the Draper gem, and that's fine, but I'm trying to keep my dependencies absolutely minimal for this project and for every project I work on from now on, because I've kind of realized that gems have a cost. Every gem you bring in has a cost. And I think a lot of projects have, most projects I've seen have way too many gems. I want to keep that to a minimum. Okay. Um, job decorator. Okay, and then, decorated job. Okay. Hmm. I'm not sure I do want to do a decorator. What are some other options? Hmm. Maybe I do want to do a decorator. Super interesting. Oh, I see. So any method that's missing on job decorator, it sends to job. Hmm. Interesting. Might it make sense to have the decorator inherit from job? Hmm. Tight coupling, limited flexibility. Not sure I completely understand. You know, I've never written my own decorator before. I've always used the Draper gem. So this is kind of interesting to learn how this might work. But is this even the path that I want to go down? Yeah, I really think it is. Okay, so let me just bite the bullet and learn about how to implement decorators. I'll just try this, I guess. Whoops. And I want to be clear that it's a billing decorator. So I think I'm going to do this. Okay. Okay. I don't completely understand this, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. Okay. What am I supposed to do in the controller? Okay, I'll ask it how I should apply it to these jobs. How do I apply it to these jobs? Okay, it looks like it's getting stuck. Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I guessed it would have me do. Okay, but it is the billing job decorator. Okay, and I can get rid of this method now. Uh-huh. Okay, so this does not work. Okay. So let's write some tests for this decorator so we don't have to just troubleshoot it by refreshing the page and such. And even before we do that, well, no, I'm gonna write the test first. Okay. Need to make a directory spec models billing. Job decorator spec. Okay. We'll do describe charge. I don't know what I want the description to be. I have this works placeholder for the moment. Okay. We'll say job equals create job. I'll actually just run that to see if that much works. Okay. And then I'll say decorated job equals job decorator dot new billing job decorator dot new job. See if that works. Okay. And let's give it a duration. Allow job to receive duration and return 60. Okay. And then we can say expect decorated job dot charge to equal 0.0. Okay, we got to move the decimal point over 3 places. So 1 would be 6, 2 would be 0.6, and 0.06. Okay. Oh, okay. That passes. Okay, created at is where it's having a problem. So let's address that. And we can move this to a let. Okay. Expect. Well, here, let's just do this. Job.created at. Huh. Okay. So let's dig deeper into this. Apparently, we're not going to reproduce it this easily in the test. Index line 12, it says. So let's look at line 12. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, how about let's put a binding.pry in here. Job.created at. Okay. Yeah, undefined method fetch value for nil class. Well, let's tell Chat GPT about this and see what it says. Inheriting. Oh, no, I didn't want to inherit from job. Okay. I didn't notice that. Okay, interesting. That apparently works. Do our tests still pass? I don't feel the need for this test anymore. Okay, and I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm just going to say it returns the charge. Can't think of anything better. Okay. Then is this actually needed? Doesn't seem so. And is this being used? Okay. We don't even have to have this. Chat GPT has a habit of giving you code that contains superfluities. And so I took those out. Okay. Add billing job decorator. Okay, and the test runs have continued to pass. All right, now I want to refactor the decorator slightly because this isn't appropriate to be here. This should be like, there should be a parent decorator class that this is on, I think. Um, let's see. If we can just call it application decorator. Okay, and that should make some tests fail. Yeah, because there's no such thing as application decorator. Okay. Now will this pass? Does. But of course we don't want this to say job. We can call it object. Okay, great. We can even do this. There we go. Okay. And what's the significance of 1,000? What do we call that? Maybe we can do this actually instead. We're multiplying it by 1/1000th. What do you call that number? I want
multiplier?
to, yeah,
Multiplier?
multiplier. That might be
Yeah.
good, but that implies that it ends up a bigger number, not a smaller number, to me at least.
Hmm.
So maybe that's a good one, but let's see what other options we can come up with. Um, I want to assign 0.001 to a constant. What might be a good name? Charge rate,
Cost factor might be a good one.
cost factor. Yeah, I thought about the word factor, but for some reason I'm not totally comfortable with the word factor. I'm not sure why. Um, charge rate, I think I like. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't absolutely love it, but that's better than just having that magic number there. Okay. Okay, add application decorator. Okay. Everything's still passing. That's great. Ha, we have a floating point error. So what did I do? Okay, so this is like not too shocking that this should happen. Um, yeah, I think this can just be solved via rounding. Um, okay. To 3 decimal points. How do I round to 3 decimal points? Round 3, okay. Okay. Return unless duration dot present. Okay. Now this is like this, so let's fix that. Um, Actually, how about this? Let's just round it to the nearest cent. Okay, and let's do this actually. Charge in cents. Charge cents. Okay. Then we don't need to do round 2. We'll just do round. Yeah. And then in the controller, so let's do this. Charge cents divided by 100. Okay. And now for the total, let's not sum up charge, let's sum up charge cents. Then divided by 100. Okay. Okay, and that should take care of those floating point errors. Okay. Something else I notice is instead of saying like 20 cents, it just says $0.2. So let's add the precision on there. Whoops. How do I make... Oh no, I'm going to want this at the billing index. I'm going to want it here. How do I add precision to charges? Number to currency, okay. See how that does. Wonderful. And we can do the same thing on the total. Okay, great. Okay. So now I think I'm ready to merge this. But as a matter of principle, I'll let this test suite pass before I do the merge. And let me also Since this is kind of a bigger change, I'm actually going to open a pull request for this and review it. Okay. This all looks fine. 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 Okay. And by the way, this is about as big of a pull request that I'm willing to do. Most people at most places make pull requests that are absolutely huge, and it's madness. It makes pull requests so much harder to review, makes deployment so much more risky. So I recommend using small pull requests. Okay, we're waiting for this test suite to start. And let's think about what happens next. It's about time to wrap up, but let's at least think about what we're going to want to do next. We don't yet have a way to navigate among months. So let's make that happen. The simplest thing I can think of is just a list of links, and each link goes to a month. So
Don't fancy drop down, allowing different ones to be selected. No.
we
Oh,
could do a
maybe too
drop down.
complicated. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm just trying to keep it even, just
Yeah.
the
Simple.
absolute simplest it can be.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it this way. Okay. So before the table, we can say months that each due month and we'll just output the month. That's of course not going to work because there's no such thing as months. Yeah. There. And that outputs that. But obviously what we want is 1 month for every month where there are actually jobs. So let's do that. For months, I want one item per month where there was actually a job. Okay. This isn't what we're ultimately going to want, but let's just see what this gives us. Oops. Okay. We want to go by jobs. No, project type. Yeah, that was right. Oh, I got a mistake here. There. Okay, and this did pass. So I'm going to merge this. Okay. Okay, ambiguous. Let's see what's ambiguous. We want jobs.created at. Um, Okay. Well, I'm not loving this because this isn't what we're ultimately going to want, and it's like giving us a little trouble anyway. So let's do something different. I'm going to go into the DB console, select created app from jobs. Okay. And I want to like group it by month. How do I do select select created at from jobs group by month. That's not what I want. But what's this date trunk thing all about? Okay, I think that is what I want. Okay, so there we do have the months. Yes. But I don't think I want date trunk. Like, it gives us too much. I just want the date itself. I don't think I want date trunk. I just want the date node time stamp. Oh, date created at. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna select date created at from jobs. I'm just gonna do that first. Yeah, there we go. Oh, wait, no. No, date created at doesn't give you the month. Okay, let's do this the old-fashioned way. Get month from date, yeah. Oh, interesting. Apparently I've been here before. Okay, great. Um, call this month. Do I need as month? Okay. Order by month. Descending. Okay. Okay, now how do I make this into an active record query? And after this, we'll really be done. Okay. Created at is ambiguous. Yes. Okay. This is like kind of frustrating. Okay, let's see what ChatGPT has to say about this. Interesting. Okay, how about this? Let's just do it as raw SQL. Well, I don't love that either. That's like worse. Okay, let's try to get the active record version working. So we have our query that works. And you know what? Maybe I'll just leave it here because this might take a while to fix and I don't want to drag this out longer than it needs to be. Okay. So this is all still passing. Great. Let's quickly review what we did today. We added this billing page, which is obviously very rough, but it does give us an amount that we owe. And presumably this could be used to actually incur billing each month, you know, on the first or whatever. We could hit Stripe and charge the customer this amount. So that's great. The only thing missing from our billing page is the ability to navigate among months. So we're going to add that. But I'm pretty happy with this start of a billing page that we have. Okay. Thanks, guys, for joining me, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Thanks. Good luck.